Hello, Marcus Guiliano here, international business author, speaker, Forbes Business Council contributor, and restaurateur. So let's talk about budgeting. How much should you budget a month for your marketing spends? How much should you budget? All right. So I get this question quite often. Coaching students say, well, Marcus, what do you think? And I got to tell you, I asked this question in the beginning too. I asked my accountant, how much should I spend of my overall revenue? And this is an accountant who's smart, by the way, like really like top-notch accountant. Like people go to him, they charge a lot of money. And it's my first accountant. I said, so how much do I spend on? He goes, well, you take your overall sales and you divide it out and it should be this percentage. I'm like, okay, cool. So I did that. Did that exact scenario. I went and spent all this money. And it didn't work. It was a failure. It was a bust. And I'm like, man, I went back to him like, man, I'm out of money. I'm out of money. I'm out of my marketing dollars. And it didn't generate, what I thought it would generate and this and that. Later, I learned, once I joined my mastermind group, ROI is crap. I'm sorry, not ROI. Your budget is crap. ROI is gold. Your return on investment. You only do ads or you focus on ad spends that are going to get you the return. So then you don't have to have a budget because if something's working, you keep putting more money to it and you watch your revenue grow. Birthday offers. I know my birthday offer is 34-to-1 return. For every dollar I put into a postcard, I get back $34. That's huge, right? So if I went to my accountant and said, hey, Mr. Accountant, how much should I spend on ads this month, on my birthday ads? And if he goes, well, this, and this. Oh, okay, Marcus, $100 is what you should spend. So if I stopped at $100, I would get a 34-to-1 return, right? So that would produce 34 times that. And all of a sudden I'd be like, well, my accountant said I can't spend anymore, so I got to stop. My register's full. I don't want to put any more money in there. Imagine if you doubled that. Spent 200, right? Now all of a sudden, but wait, my accountant said I can't spend that much. My ratio's out. As your ratio goes out, if it's a successful promotion, your revenue will go up and your ratio won't be out. And this is the thing that my high-powered accountant failed to tell me, was how to focus on what works and then expand it, extrapolate it, scale it from there. So I was placing my ads the first few years and just like, wow, this marketing stuff is tough. This marketing stuff is like crazy. And when I've learned how to do direct response to people that have been into my place and communicate directly to them, my ad spends went down, my revenue went up. I tripled my business within a matter of 3-4 years. Literally tripled my business within a matter of 3-4 years once I started to do successful marketing. So it's amazing. I'm at a point in my restaurant where I need to build a bigger space to really handle all the business that I have. So it's now my next question is, do I really want to build a bigger kitchen? Do I want to build a bigger dining room? Do I want to expand? We do more catering. And I answer that question by, what else can I do that doesn't require me to build space? How can I generate money another avenue? And we did that by doing trips to Europe. Take 20 people, it's 4,500, almost 4,500 a person, times 22 people, it's an extra $100,000. I don't need a new kitchen. I don't need more staff. I just need to be a better marketer and promote those trips to people that want to go on those trips. And the profit margins are fantastic, much better than the restaurant industry. So just because you're growing and you're out of room doesn't mean you actually have to build more physical space. And I thought about this and like, do I open another location? What do I do here? And this is what I come up with. So once you get your business to that level of, yeah, this is really cool, that's going to be driven from knowing your ROIs on investments, right? Advertising is an investment, folks. Plain up, straight and simple, marketing, advertising is an investment because you get money back. You get sales back from money you put in or time you put in. So my suggestion is graph out all of your promotions. We do a 10/40 promotion, $10.40 off around IRS time, around tax season. It looks like an IRS check, $10.40 gift card. We send out 300 to 500 of these a year to our top guests. And last year we were running a 9-to-1 return. I'm like, man, 9-to-1, that's not good. I don't want to do it again. And all of a sudden the last week and a half, a lot of people came in and returned it and it went up to a 14-to-1. So for every dollar I put in, I'm getting back $14, right? Like, why would I do more of that? Of course I wouldn't do. So I'm not going to stop it. This year I said, add 250 people. Add the next segment on the list. Add 250 people. Let's spend $250 more than we spent last year. We spent $500 last year, so let's spend $750 this year. Not saying, oh boy, I spent $500 last year, I want to do that. I'm thinking now, let's keep pushing this. And at some point, this promotion might fall off because I'm going to get into the list where I don't have as many big spenders, or the spending is going to drop down. But I don't know that until I try it. So now I've done this promotion 3-4 years in a row. I can go back after this year's promotion and say, okay, 10 to 1, 12 to 1, 14 to 1, 15 to 1, 9 to 1, 8 to 1. See, so I can notice a pattern. Just like a cup of tea. You brew a cup of tea, at 7 minutes it's at its peak, and it starts going down. It's not that it's a bad cup of tea. It's just that it's time for a fresh cup, or it's time to drink it, right? It's time to move on. It's time to make a new cup. So again, tweak your promotions to where you're going to say, okay, I'm now in a segment that might not be producing. Scale it back down. Do a different offer. Do a more aggressive offer. Maybe the people that don't spend as much need a more of an aggressive offer to get them in. You don't know this until you try it. You can do this promotion and split test it. Top 500 people, next tier of 500 people and spenders, and do 2 different offers and see, and then split test it. And then the following year, like, oh man, look at that. You might realize you're giving too much or you're not giving enough. And sometimes this is the worst thing to do, is to do a promotion and it not work because you didn't give enough to have people come in. The whole thing can get wasted by not giving enough. You need to find your sweet point and give enough to make money and to get responses. And I feel if you're placing ads in newspapers and magazines, this stuff is hard to track. And you might not be able to simply say, is this really working? You don't know. I spent all this money in the beginning on stuff because I didn't. My accountant never told me. Well, this is how you market, Marcus. This is how you this is how you truly market, direct response, and build a database. And this stuff is a lot cheaper than you going out and just wasting ad money. I didn't know that, and that's why the book 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make is so valuable, because I talk about the differences in my mistakes. So if you don't have a copy of that, get on and get your copy right away. 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make. There's a link in the description of my YouTube video where you can find that.